G'day everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's episode of the GWS Screamo, we have the preliminary final preview. We're here now, just one win away from another grand final. But before we get into that, let's have a look back at the qualifying final. Of course, it was us versus Hawks. We finished first, they finished fourth. It was at Giants Stadium, and we won 13-4, 82 to 10-3, 63. It was a nice 19-point win. And that last quarter was very close. Really could have ended either way, but we knocked them off, and we're through to the prelim. They get sent to the semi. Now we move on to the second qualifying final, which was against second place Port versus the very informed third place Swans. It was at Adelaide Oval, and so the scores are correct, but the goals and behinds are made up because obviously I can't see the goals and behinds. I can only see what the actual score was. But so Port lost 8-7-55 to the Swans 12-6-78. Swans pipped them by almost 4 goals. So it's a big win for the Swans, who are heavily informed. They've come back from that their mid-season bye, and they have just been dominating the league since. So Swans through to the home prelim, and Port through to the sent to the home semi. Now we have the first elimination final at the MCG. 5th place Collingwood versus 8th place Carlton. The winner plays Hawks, and Carlton went out there and got the job done. 7-5-47 to 10-7-67. Carlton come into last year's finals 8th as well, and lost to the Dogs by 1 point. So they came out to make a statement this year. By absolutely flogging 5th place Collingwood. 5th place Collingwood. I just said it a lot. And so Carlton through to semi versus Hawks, which will be at the MCG, and Collingwood are knocked out. Now we move on to the second elimination final at the Adelaide Oval between the Crows and the Lions. 6th place Crows knocked off the 7th place Lions 11-11, 77 to 6-10, 46. They absolutely flogged them. So Adelaide through to a semi versus Port Adelaide, and Brisbane are knocked out. So we will have a showdown in the semi-finals. Or winner will verse us in a prelim as well. So it's exciting times. So the first semi-final, which was between the 4th place Hawks and the 8th place Blues. We're talking about where they finished on the ladder originally. It was the 4th place Hawks and the 8th place Blues at the MCG. And it was obviously a horrible day because it was 3-7-25 to 4-9-33. So just shocking scoreline. And Carlton from 8th through to the prelim, again, which will be against the Swans at the SCG. Hawks out in straight sets 2 years in a row. That is now 2 years in a row the Hawks have gone out in straight sets. They'll be very, very disappointed with themselves. Both years coming into top 4 and going out in straight sets. That's like Brisbane in real life. I'm pretty confident they've gone out in straight sets 2 years in a row now as well. Now the second semi-final was at Adelaide Oval, and it was a semi-final showdown. The winner was going to go through and verse us, and Port knocked off Adelaide. So 2nd place Port knocked off 6th place Adelaide 12-6, 78 to 7-9, 51, and they will now advance to a prelim where they'll play us at Giants Stadium. Now we move on to the preliminary finals, and we have us, GWS Giants, versus Port at Giants Stadium. So we come into the finals first, they come into the finals second, so I'm tipping a very, very close game. And Sportsbet has the odds pretty even. We are just $1.92, Port are $2.06. So $2.06. So it's nice and close on the Sportsbet odds. And I'm tipping a close game because, like I said, we come in first, they come in second, and I just all around think I just got a feeling it'll be a good game. Also, I actually did forget to do my tips for the semis, but that's alright, doesn't matter. Actually I got all 4 right in the first round of finals, and I forgot to do the semis, but like I said, that is all right. So in this final series, we've had Port Adelaide versus Adelaide. We've had a South Australian showdown in a semi, and if we knock off Port, Swans knock off Blues, we could have a Battle of the Bridge grand final. That would be an awesome final series. Last time we played Port was just a few weeks ago. It was round 20. It was at Giants Stadium, and we won 80-77. So we won by just 3 points. Wow, that was a good game. That was a very good game. That was right in the middle of when we were having like that. I think it was like 5 or 6 games in a row that were just really close. And yeah, this one was just 3 points. So yeah, like I did say earlier, I'm tipping for another close game. Yeah, I mean, maybe this one will be even closer. Maybe 2 points, 1 point. It might even be a draw. We might have to go to overtime, which is honestly, in that qualifying final against Hawks, there was a stage about halfway through, or like a bit before halfway through in that last quarter, where I really thought we might have a chance at going to extra time. That would have been awesome. Now we move on to in the best. Last time these two teams played. So best on last time was Scotty Lysette. And then second best from Port. Second best on was Tanner Brun from us, of course. And third best on was Charlie Dixon from Port, of course. So yeah, bit of a mixture in there. They had best on, and third best on. We had second best on. But I mean, yeah, but it does tend to happen a lot in close games. We don't really get many players in the best. But yeah, that's just what happens. Doesn't matter anyway. We won. That's all that really matters. Now the leading goal kickers for each team last time we played. Ours were Tanner Brun and Finlayson on 3 each. And Port, of course, Brun did get second best on that day, so shows. And Charlie Dixon for Port had 4, and he got third best on. So yeah. So our 2 best had 3. Charlie Dixon had 4. Actually, I remember now. Charlie Dixon kicked like 2 or 3 in the last quarter, and they just had a massive comeback. That was, yeah, actually I do remember that now. Charlie Dixon was absolutely carving our defenders up. Now we continue to be very lucky with our injuries and suspensions. I mean, Perriman got injured, but it was just for 1 week, and we were through a prelim, so he just missed the semi-finals week, which we didn't even play in anyway. So injuries and suspensions, we still have none. Port, on the other hand, not so lucky. They have Zach Butters so their injuries are Zach Butters and Ryan Burton. Butters out for 1 week, Burton out for 2, and they've got Georgiades suspended for 1 week. So Butters and Georgiades will be really hoping that they win, because they'll get back in time for the grand final. Burton will be absolutely gutted if they win, because then he misses out on the grand final. Now we move on to our ins and outs. We have just the one in. It's Bugaya is back, and just the one out is Pittenay. I said that for Pittenay to keep his spot, he's got to play, quite well. He really has. He's got to do, a pretty good job, and he didn't. He didn't do great, if I'm being honest with you. So Bugaya comes back into the team for his first ever final. So the starting 18 does stay the same, but we'll still run through it anyway. The full back line, Keith Davis Perryman. Half back line, Taylor Haynes Whitfield. And on the 2 wings, we have Taranto and Hopper. And in the guts, Canelio. So, yeah, honestly, there is 9. Maybe not 9, but there is 6 at least elite level players in that 9. And we just have such a good 22 here. And then we move on to the other half of the field, and we've got, in the followers, we've got Flynn in ruck, Kelly and Ward in the gut, half forward line, Brun, Finlayson, Green, full forward line, Goulden, Himmelberg, Daniels, and down that forward line we have the Coleman medal winner, the bloke who comes second by just 1 goal, last year's Coleman medal winner and rising star. Then we've got Toby Green, Finlayson, and Daniels, who were fighting for last year's Coleman. So it's an awesome forward line. And those 3 followers, absolutely elite level players. Now we move on to the bench, which this is where the one change comes into play. We've still got DeBoer, Hogan, Kennedy, and then the last spot on the bench is Bugaya, who came in for Pittenay like we just spoke about, and he's playing his first final like we just spoke about. So it's into fun and interesting scenes here at Giants. Now we move on to Port's starting 22, and in the full back line. So yeah, it's going to be difficult to read, but the issue is with Port, I can't use white because then going over the logo you wouldn't be able to read it. I can't use black because going over the logo you wouldn't be able to read it. So this was just a colour I settled for. It's going to be difficult to read no matter what I use, really, unless I use a bright green, which I did look at, but I thought no. So the full back line is Laird, Alear and Burn-Jones. So Roy Laird, oh my god, I accidentally wrote Laird, whatever that is. But anyway, Roy Laird is actually, like last week, played in a semi against his old team. So he went from Adelaide to Port Adelaide, the crosstown rivals, and then versed them in a semi-final. That's nuts. Anyway, the half-back line, Houston, Hartland, McKenzie, and on the two wings, Motlop, Dersma, and in the guts, Power Pepper. Now on to the next half of their forward line, of their team, and we've got the followers: Scotty Lysett in the ruck, Wines and Rockcliffe in the guts, half forward line, Fantasia, Dixon and Rosie, and then the full forward line, Sam Reid, the ex-Giants player. So we will be playing Sam Reid. Sam Reid will be playing his old team in a preliminary final. This is, he'll be really wanting to win because, we just threw him out the door. We just traded him. I don't even remember what we got for him. But yeah, and then Todd Marshall and Farrell. Now for Port's bench, we've got Amon, Bonner, Garner and Mays. So they actually, of the 4 players on the bench, 3 of them are general defenders and 1 of them is a midfielder. So it's an interesting 4 on the bench for Port Adelaide. Now the other preliminary final last time they played, so it's Sydney versus Carlton in the other prelim, and last time they played, it was at the MCG, so Carlton's home game, and Carlton got up by just 5 points, but it was a very low scoring game. It was 30-25. So Carlton obviously like their low scoring games because their game against Hawthorn in the semi was also quite low scoring. That could be an interesting game though, because that was before Swans found their form, and that's, they didn't have a good start to the year, the Swans. Anyway. Alright. Okay, so there's just that screen again. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the preliminary final, which will be out, obviously tomorrow. Whenever this gets uploaded, it'll be out tomorrow.